Welcome to 5 Minutes with Gray Hair Dave. He has gray hair, has a gray beard, and wears glasses like the guy in the artwork. Oh, and the guy in the artwork's better looking. Now here is Gray Hair Dave.
Okay, folks, that's my little buddy Luigi. Now, I don't know if that's his name on 11labs.ai or .io, but that's what I like to call him. He's my little Italian friend who likes to introduce me, and I appreciate that. So, how are you, folks? Yes, it's me. It's Gray Hair Dave. I am back for another episode for your entertainment and your entertainment. Let's just leave it there, okay? Because I lost my train of thought. I didn't know where I was going to go from there. But anyway, hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. It's 2 days after the election here in 2024, in November of 2024, and the results are in. Now, some people may not be happy with those results that came in. Some people may be ecstatic by those results that came in. I'm hoping that you're not all upset about it, but you're understanding that no matter who wins, we've got to go on, right? Here in the U.S. especially, which is mainly the audience that I just talked to there. But, it'd be anywhere. You're not always going to like the results of an election. And I'll be the first to say, if I had been the one who was running and who lost, I'd be unhappy with who was there too. But I think the one who lost, which I'm going to say it here, Kamala Harris, and I hope I said her name right. Kamala Harris did not win. Donald Trump did. There's a lot of things involved in this that I believe happened, and part of the American politics that is a bit confusing is the amount of time the candidate is willing to spend in front of people, cameras, people interviewing whoever you want to call them, or whatever they are at that point, whether it's a rally or it's just a one-on-one. You got to be able to answer questions. And I don't believe that Kamala Harris did. Vice President Harris, I don't think was ready for this. I know she wanted it, but I don't think she was ready for it. It's a lot. Campaigning for the presidency of the United States when it's not a primary, because if you'll remember, she ran against Joe Biden in the primaries 4 years ago and lost. And, she didn't last as long as she wanted to because she wouldn't answer the questions. And this last 107 days of her campaign, she didn't say how she wanted to do anything, how I want to help make your life better. She said, well, it's all bad about this guy and that guy. It's not the blame game in politics. It's because people don't want to know who to blame. They want to know you're going to go out there and you're going to help them. It's an individual you've got to be talking to every time, just like when I am sitting here at my desk at Gray Hair Productions, talking to you. Please hold. Got a plane going over and I got the window open. It's a lovely 87 degrees here. But it only feels like about 82, 83 because I'm in the shade. So the airplane's gone, and back to I forgot what I was even saying. But yeah, you got to be talking to people, but you got to be talking to that one person every time. When I talk to you, I'm not looking at the spectrum of everybody. Okay, I'm not looking at the spectrum of everybody who listens at one time. If you're doing that, it's harder to concentrate on the job at hand. So I talk to one person, you, I'm talking to you right now. You are my person. You are my avatar. You are the person who I believe wants to hear what I have to say. Now, I think that the Trump campaign was run really, really well. I think that he had a lot more practice this time. I also think he'll do better in office because he has an idea of what's going to happen. When you come into office as somebody who wasn't playing the political game and you have no experience at that, it couldn't have been easy for him day one, the last term. But he knows better now, and I think he'll make better decisions on who he brings in to help him. So that's just my hope and my prayer that he does bring in better people. Again, if your candidate didn't win in the American election, I'm sorry, and we're gonna wake up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and go on. Remember? I said it the other day, or a couple of weeks ago. The politics you need to be worried about most are the politics that are local to you, that affect you immediately. So there is that in the bag. One other thing I wanted to mention, and that has to go with podcasting. Donald Trump went on a lot of podcasts. And I understand that Kamala Harris went on a few podcasts. Donald Trump was so confident in what he has to say and how he has to say it that he went on a 3-hour podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience. I watched that because he has it on YouTube. Did I watch that on Spotify? I'm looking at the corner at my assistant, me. And I don't remember where I watched it. All I know is he answered Joe's questions, and Joe wasn't throwing out softballs there. He was throwing him some hard questions, and he came back with answers that were realistic. How are you going to do this? I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And that wasn't the only podcast he went on where he answered questions. This is the new medium, in my mind, to get facts out to people that is a lot more trusted right now than the old mainstream media. And in that, I'm talking about, the old ABC, NBC, CBS. I'm not talking about the cable guys, because those aren't old. Well, they're old. They've been around quite a while. But I'm talking about the guys who were there during the antenna days. And if you don't know what an antenna is for TV, look it up. There's that old phrase. I miss that old phrase. Look it up. But anyways, that's what happened this week. And something that I think you ought to know too is that I voted early. And the process was very, very simple. Very, very simple. I think I was there all told, it was about an hour. And that was because it took a few minutes to find parking, because this was the neatest place. It was at an Orange County, Florida park, like Parks and Rec kind of a thing, where they had trails and everything else, but it was closed down because of the latest hurricane. Closed down for the trails, but not their buildings where they show what they do. And you got to watch turtles while you were standing in line, because that they had turtles around the building in cages. I mean, and they were nice cages. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that they aren't being treated properly, because they are. And it was that was interesting. But because it was not like a school or a church, it wasn't a big old parking lot. You had to find a few parking spots or along the road to find a place to park. And I did. And then you got to walk, and there's a little bit. And the line was about 35 minutes. And I didn't talk to anybody in line, because when I'm there to vote, I don't want to get into a conversation about politics with somebody I don't know. That's none of this. Who are you going to vote for? What do you think about this proposition or that proposition? I just stand there and I think, and I watch, and I people watch. And the other day, I turtle watched. So if they have it there, next time there's an election, I'm going to go back because I enjoyed. It was very, very enjoyable to go vote this time. I talked to my brother last night, and he said he also voted early, and that he was in and out of there quickly. He was like, there's like one or two people in line, you go in and out, which is great. I think early voting is a thing that should be around for a while. I like it. I'm sorry if you don't live in the United States and this doesn't affect you and it doesn't interest you. Next week, I will be back to my regular self. I'll get away from politics and we'll get on with the other things. Are there things you want me to talk about? Things you're interested in hearing my opinion on? You know, are you interested in what my thoughts are on the woke society and will they still be around? There's a lot going on out there in the world that is crazy, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it honestly. Changing the format a little bit. I'm not going back into what happened in my life. Now we're getting into my beliefs and what I think needs to be said, and the fact that I can say it because it's my podcast. It's nobody else's. It's mine. You want to start a podcast and say what you got on your mind? Go to this new podcast called Boomer Podcasters. Boomer Podcasters is a brand new show that is designed for beginners who want to learn how to podcast. I started this about 3 weeks ago. Now I've been building at this and been telling you about it for a long time, but I'm finally, as they say, up off my butt and doing it. And I'm enjoying the living cajeebers out of it, folks. It's great. Go and listen to the first 2 or 3 episodes. Episode 3 dropped yesterday. Episode 3 yesterday was about microphones, boom arms, and headsets. Now, if you want a podcast, those are important things. Week before that, we talked about DAWs, digital audio workstations, and the importance of that. I mean, if you want to get your words out there, you gotta record them into something so that you can get it out there, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I think next week I'm set up to talk about, I'm going to talk about episode prep, outline, scripts, and non-script. As you can tell, this is not a scripted podcast. Boomer Podcasters is not scripted. It's outlined. I have an outline of what I want to talk about every single solitary time. I want to go from point to point to point. That's what an outline and that's what show prep is and getting ready. If there is time, I'm going to have you download a form to help you with that. So if you're interested in podcasting, go ahead and go over to that and listen to it. You can listen to it at boomerpodcasters.com. That's BOOMERPODCASTERS.com. All of the sites are, all my episodes are there. There's even some product suggestions there. There's a place where you can leave me a message, contact me, sign up for a newsletter, whatever you want to do. That one will have newsletters. It won't be every week, but there'll be newsletters. Also, folks, if you know somebody who doesn't know what a podcast is, doesn't know how to find one, how to play one, how to subscribe to one, how to figure out what genre they want to listen to, do me a favor. Show them for me. And don't just show them on Apple Podcasts, Show them on like Fountain or Podcast or Cast-O-Matic or Pocket Cast. And because those are used on other platforms besides Apple. Also, folks, if you know somebody who's interested in and is podcasting already, but needs some help with their editing, let me know. Send them to that website too, or send them to this website, 5minuteswithgrayhairdave.com. That's the number 5minuteswithgrayhairdave.com, because have them leave me a message. Say, hey, I'm interested, and I'd be happy to help them out. I do charge for that, and it's reasonable. I do audio and video. As I get ready to leave here, the one thing I want to say, don't forget, smile at somebody you don't know. You're going to make their day. And it'll make yours. So on behalf of Gray Hair Dave here at Gray Hair Productions, which is this bedroom that I have set up, I want to wish you a happy day, happy week. I'll talk to you next week. And don't forget, folks, you're going to wake up tomorrow and all is going to be just as fine as it was yesterday. You have a great day. Bye-bye.